Greetings, vloggers, bloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin from Dustin's Dynasty. Today I'm going to talk about when you go into an establishment, whether it be a fast food restaurant, a grocery store, and when it comes to the time when you have to submit payment. Um, sometimes the there's something that won't make it work or make it not go through, whatever you want to clarify it as. Um, it brings a lot of anxiety and a lot of tension um, to the situation of making sure that you can get your things and get out. Because by the time what we get through the store as autistics and we get to that moment when we want to pay for stuff and we just want the payment to work. And there's can be many things go wrong, and it happened twice today for me. And once was in a sandwich shop, and they were taking cash only, but there's no fault of their own. That the machine was not working properly, and we made our order of sandwiches, and we went to pay, and the there was an error. We tried using gift cards, and that didn't work. Well, it didn't work so much that it froze the machine, so we had to pay in cash. And I was a little flustered by that because not that I knew that we would probably have to pay in cash, but that we just didn't. We just took a while, and we had to wait. And sitting in that wait and sitting in that judgment can be hard sometimes. It can be hard to sit and wait in judgment, waiting to see if it's going to go through or if you can get what you need to get. A lot of times when we go places like stuff when we go get stuff we have to wait for it. I think waiting is one of the hardest is not a good strong suit of an autistic person. For many autistic people, it's very hard to be still and not be fidgety and not move. It can be a challenge sometimes. So yeah. Anyway, we did get our sandwiches, and we did pay for them in cash. They actually used a calculator to do that, and we assured them that there was nothing wrong. But at that point, I really wanted to almost go into a meltdown because it wasn't working. We're also in one of those things where it just has to work. And if we do something like activate something online, or it's kind of like that. It's like kind of like just having to work. Everything just has to work, and it has to go our way. And sometimes we just can't. We have to realize that it doesn't go our way, and it's hard to accept that fault because it's part of life. And it's the same thing with going to the store. It's a part of life that you're gonna have errors, and you're gonna have to pay cash, and you're gonna have to not be able to use certain cards because the machine's not gonna work. What have you? Fast forward a few hours to this evening. Um, went to the grocery store. Bought some groceries, bought a decent amount of groceries, and went to pay. And we were having trouble. I was having trouble using my Snap card, and I tried twice, and it wouldn't go through. And I knew there was money. I knew there were funds available because I had checked earlier in the day, and I had used it earlier in the day, so I knew it had worked. And then I kept getting instructions from the cashier again and again and again until the cashier came around the checkout stand and actually did the swiping. And I don't understand what she did. And maybe it was something to her fault because she was a new cashier. That when she swiped it and it worked, but the other two times it did not for some reason. It was asking for cash back, which it never does, and it was just I don't know if it was her error or my error, but it put me in a tense moment there, and it made me kind of tense in a way because it wasn't done the proper way. It was done, but it just wasn't. It just didn't feel like it was going to get through the right way. And I've tried on other registers in that store, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't, and that can be a difficulty for me too. If it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to go, it can be difficult. for me to manage and to accept that things don't always go the way we have them planned. Especially, when we go and make purchases in a crowded environment like a store or in a mall. I don't like malls. So, like, having a crowded environment in the mall could be another challenge. Just it just goes on and on. But just be mindful that when you go to a store, that you just try to remain calm and take a deep breath. Because I sometimes still at 35 have trouble taking a deep breath and realizing that I need to calm down and I need to just let it run its course and not get excited. And luckily I have 90% of the time when I'm like I'm with someone of a family member or something. But what about that 10%? What about what if I flip? So just keep that in mind this week. As always, like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and on the web at Dustin'sDynastyUSA.com. Thank you and have a good night.